and welcome. I'm Harriet Agbeni. Tonight, outrage trails killing of a mother of 7 children in the Federal Capital Territory. Residents call for improved security of the community. Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission set to unravel the circumstances surrounding the electrocution of some residents of the Federal Capital Territory. The federal government condemns killing of a Nigerian in Italy, says murder of citizens by foreign nationals is unacceptable. And South Sudan leaders call for an end to violence as they confirm death of dozens following clashes in the country's capital, Juba. On business news tonight, Central Bank gears up for policies on cloud computing and data protection in the nation's payment system.
And on sports news, Serena Williams beats Angelique Kerber in straight sets to clinch her 7th Wimbledon title and a record equaling 22nd major.
We begin tonight in the Federal Capital Territory, where residents of Bazango community in Buari Area Council are outraged over the gruesome murder of a member of their community. Eyewitnesses say the mother of 7 children, Deaconess Eunice Olawale, was killed in the early hours of today during her routine morning preaching in the area. The people are asking the Nigerian police to investigate the matter and increase security surveillance in their area, following reports of several other killings within the area. Meanwhile, the police confirmed a number of arrests have been made in connection with today's killing.
This is Bazango community in Kubwa satellite town, Buari Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory. Residents are clearing illegal structures within the area following the discovery of the remains of a young man at this spot in the area. The residents explained that the cause of the death remains unknown.
You know, rumor has been going around that people were killed here and there, We are just trying to be security conscious of our area. And, you know, you can see how we are trying to clean up the kiosks and whatsoever that governments have asked people not to erect, and they have been erected. You know, we are very sure that such things can harbor criminals.
In another part of the community, some Christians are praying at the spot of another murder case.
Do we avenge us?
Deaconess Eunice Olawale was killed few days to her 42nd birthday while she was performing her routine morning preaching in the area. For 16 years, she has lived with her husband, Pastor Elisha Olawale, and they have 7 children. He tells us what happened.
2 of my boys, they were footballers, they went to field to play. They just came back to tell me that they hear some footballers saying that they butcher a woman preaching the gospel this morning. They came home to tell us. So when they told me, with my nika, we trekked down. We didn't see anybody, but we saw blood on the ground. I now asked a policeman that I was told that there was a woman that was butchered to death. She said yes. I've taken her to Facebook police station. I came back with my children. We got there. As I got to the police station, my wife was at the back of the pickup. They removed her head and 2 legs. We are taking her to a mortuary.
Apprehension and tension is in the air as residents explain that this is one too many deaths in the area.
Since we came this morning, we've heard a lot of stories of people who live in uncompleted places, and especially just the structure opposite this place, which is supposed to be a market, but is now being inhabited by some dangerous fellows that we can call the men of the underworld, some of whom are even acclaimed not to be Nigerians.
The residents confirmed that a few arrests have been made. However, the FCT Commissioner of Police has ordered an investigation into the murder case.
Well, the circumstances surrounding the electrocution of some residents of Tudunwada village, a suburb also in the Federal Capital Territory last week, remains unclear. It is in light of this that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission plans to carry out an investigation to find out the truth behind the incident. The acting Director General of the Commission told journalists after visiting the site that the panel of inquiry will find out the exact number of casualties as well as the role of the electricity distribution company involved in the matter.
Officials of the Electricity Regulatory Commission arrived to Dunwada, a village in Abuja where electricity mishap left some people dead and several dozens injured. Residents say 6 people died and about 40 persons, including children, were injured when the accident happened last week.
At the initial stage, when the incident happened, we realized that about 2 people were killed. But when the police now went around and see so many things, they say about 6 of them, about 40 people are being injured, they are being hospitalized. But at present now, we realize that 6 people are in mortuary dead.
This young boy was among the lucky ones. He has this burnt on his face. Although officials of the distribution company refused to speak to journalists, victims say the distribution company has agreed to take responsibility for their treatments.
In the moment that thing happened on Saturday night, on Monday about 2 o'clock, the NEPA official were here to sympathize with us and to talk to us that we should not have any fears in our mind that they are going to take responsible for the hospital bills and other things like that.
Meanwhile, the Electricity Regulatory Commission says it will investigate the cause of the incident.
From their own account, which they've given informally to us, they said about 3 died. But we need to do our own investigation as a regulator. And we assure the community that where it's found there's any negligence or any fault on the part of the distribution company, then we as the sector regulator will apply the necessary sanctions.
Last week Saturday was no doubt a black Saturday for families who lost their loved ones to the incident. For now, they can only wait and see what the said investigation will mean for them.
It is estimated that malnutrition contributes more than a third of deaths in children under the age of 5 years. Now, children under this age in such conditions existing in various internally displaced people's camps in the northeast, accounting for a large number of deaths being recorded in those camps. Disturbed by the IDP's health conditions during his recent visit to the Bama IDP camp in Borno State, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, directed that a medical outreach program be conducted there by a team from the Air Force.
This is Bama, a town formerly occupied by Boko Haram militants for months. It's a ghost town with virtually every structure destroyed. The Nigeria Air Force team has come to visit the internally displaced persons in Maiduguri based on the directives of the Chief of Air Staff to run a medical checkup for adults as well as children. One after the other, they check their blood pressure. Some of the IDPs expressed their joy, appealing for more medical attention and education for the children.
We thank God for the medical outreach of the Nigerian Air Force and the doctors who came to help us. We and our children are being taken care of.
Thank God the military captured Banki and brought me here along with my 2 children. Some time back, we had a problem of water supply, and we still do. There is no enough food. The Air Force visited us. After their visits to our camp, they brought water, food and drugs to treat us. Right now, our major challenge is accommodation. Our improvised shelter has been destroyed by the rain.
The medical director, Group Captain Tiyamiyu Kamla, says the children are malnourished and most of the elderly are suffering from different health issues.
The first intend to establish a hospital here in this IDP camp. Now, when we go back, a team will be coming to this IDP camp every week to come and treat the IDPs. We now discovered the children are really malnourished. and that is why we came with nutritional food to give it to the children. So also the elderly, they also have so much medical problems. Some of them are hypertensive, some of them are diabetic.
The internally displaced persons will be counting down to the day they'll return home, with the hope that life will be better for them when they get there.
Meanwhile, the National Orientation Agency insists it remains committed to the advocacy campaign of peace, reconciliation and rebuilding of the entire Northeast. The Director General of the agency, Dr. Garba Abari, made this known in Damaturu, Yobe State, while on a visit in the northeast states of the country. During a courtesy call on the Yobe State Governor, Ibrahim Gaidam, the NOA boss explained the need for the Enlightenment campaign.
While we are in the process of rehabilitation, reconstruction and rebuilding, we also have to rebuild the peace. And rebuilding the peace actually is an integral part. This society has seen a traumatized population. Our society has seen a traumatized citizenry. Economies have been devastated. Lives lost. Agriculture almost impossible to practice. Animal husbandry difficult to keep. In fact, there is no aspect of our lives that has not been sufficiently devastated in negative terms as a result of the insurgency. It has turned community against community, neighbors against neighbors, one ethnic group against another, one religious group against another. Suspicion has become part of the rumor mongering has become part of our lives. And all this because the society has already been derailed from its normal pattern of development.
The protection of the environment is a responsibility of all citizens and not just the government. This is according to the Minister of Environment, Mrs. Amina Mohammed, who insists that government welcomes the contribution of all Nigerians at all levels to ensure a safe and clean environment. She made these comments in Abuja when a faith-based group, Caritas Foundation, paid her a visit to commend the federal government's decision to clean up Ogoni land in Rivers State.
We spoke yesterday with our traditional rulers, yesterday in Kano, the day before in Gombe, just to talk to them about being part of this. And I think you will remember when Bill Gates came to Nigeria and he collaborated with us to end polio. And one of the most successful vehicles and platforms that he engaged were the traditional rulers. And I think that this is something we ought to look at again, is those that are closest to the people. How can we engage traditional rulers? How can we engage those faith-based, not just organizations, but institutions, to talk to people on a daily basis about their own contribution and their responsibility to the environment.
The Minister of Environment, Mrs. Amina Mohammed. The killing of a Nigerian, Emmanuel Chidi Nnamdi, in Italy has drawn the anger of the federal government, calling for a thorough probe of the incident. According to the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, the murder of Nnamdi is disheartening. In a statement, Mrs. Dabiri Erewa stated that the painful killings and gruesome murder of innocent Nigerians by other nationals is unacceptable to the people and government of Nigeria. She reiterated President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to citizens' diplomacy and protection of Nigerians wherever they are, and promised that Nigeria would monitor the dispensation of justice on the matter. In part two, after the break, traders in a popular Lagos market reject the local government's move to relocate them. Stay with us.